Have you ever witnessed something so unbelievable that if you told anybody it would sound like a lie? Well, I'm sure you'll be surprised by the cases I have to tell you today. I'm Tiago Tadeo, and welcome to The Upside Down. The Family and the Strange Creature. A family of ufologists had a very unexpected encounter with an unusual figure, a half-man, half-snake creature. Rogerio Gomez and his daughter reported in an interview how they met this strange being. Rogerio said that everything happened in the municipality of Maués in the Amazonas, Brazil. He said that in his childhood, a very curious case happened to him while he was fishing with his father. According to Rogerio, he went to accompany his father on a normal day at work where they went, fishing. A cylindrical figure appeared right in front of them. Without a second thought, his father rowed to the riverbank, and they managed to reach dry land safe and sound. But not everyone was as lucky as them. Because Rogerio said that, the next day, the local radio reported that 2 people were attacked by something very similar to what they had seen, proving that they were not crazy and that the figure did indeed exist. Years later, something as sinister as this happened again. According to their testimony, in 2013, when Rogerio's daughter, Romana, was 17 years old. She and a friend were talking at their house while their parents slept. But things got weird when the girl looked out the window and saw the figure of a man dressed in white dancing on a beach next to her house. Frightened, the girl woke up her parents and everyone was shocked. Picking up a pair of binoculars and looking at the creature more closely, Rogerio noticed that its legs were more curved than those of an ordinary human being. However, when the creature turned around, he realized that it was not an ordinary man, but a very strange creature. Rogerio and Romana went there. As they approached, Rogerio saw the lower part of the figure, which was similar to a snake, but the upper part had arms and a head similar to that of a cobra, but with a human face. It was at that moment that the creature felt their presence and turned around to attack. But Rogerio began to ask for the help of extraterrestrial beings, a practice he read in study books, and it was at that moment that something strange happened. When the hybrid creature was ready to pounce, a super strong light from the sky appeared, causing it to disappear. Rogerio's wife, who saw everything, said that a circle formed on top of the creature and pulled it upwards extremely quickly, sparing her husband and daughter from a tragic end. The UFO attack. A news portal made an article revealing that the Brazilian police were investigating several UFO sightings in Brazil between 2013 and 2016. And in one of these cases, there were even reports that the discus would have fired lightning at the population of the Campo de Amonia indigenous tribe. According to reports, this case happened in 2014 in the state of Acre. The report said, in the Apipcha community, in recent days, something very strange had been appearing, flying over the indigenous land around 6 p.m. On July 24th, here in the village, at Ilda's house, this aircraft went down a height of approximately 2.10 meters from the ground with a very strong light. Still, according to people who saw the lights, it continued to appear in the region every night. Another similar case that also happened in 2014 was reported to the police, who of course started an investigation to find out what it was about. But just as abruptly as they started, the lights stopped, but not for long, as in 2016 they came back with a vengeance and even caused one of the tribesmen to be hospitalized after sort of exchanging gunfire with the spacecraft and being hit by a mysterious beam. Be that as it may, the cases still remain a mystery, as the reports released do not give a verdict on what these lights would actually be. The Men in Black. Anyone who has seen the movie The Men in Black knows that they are sent to intervene when some extraterrestrial anomaly happens, right? But those who think that this story is a mere work of cinema would be wrong, as there are records that the Men in Black would be real, and theoretically, they would be among us. Many people who have had some experience with UFO sightings or interactions with extraterrestrials say they were visited by 2 men in black. That, of course, after the event. These men threatened people so they wouldn't tell the story to anyone else and destroy the evidence of what happened as well. According to the testimonies of these people, as much as they looked human, they clearly were not. Their skin had a plastic-like texture and their eyes were abnormally large. In the case that I'm going to tell you now, There are records of a hotel security cameras that recorded the exact moment when two men in black entered the establishment. It is believed that they were looking for Shane Sovar, the hotel's manager, as well as a security guard, who fortunately were not present at the time. Both the security guard and the manager witnessed when a triangular UFO appeared outside the hotel on October 14, 2008. It was for this reason that the men in black were there. What do you think they would be, guys? And do you believe they are real? Inhabitants of the moon. This is the case of the ex-CIA pilot that believes that, yes, there is life beyond Earth. According to him, there are more than 250 million people living on the moon. In addition to being a former pilot, John Lear is also a former captain of the United States Air Forces. But that doesn't make your ideas less controversial, right? Because most of them are a laughingstock within the scientific community. There are, of course, those who believe what John says and give him credit for his experience serving the United States. After all, it's quite the resume, right fam? That is, they believe that John really knows a lot that the government theoretically didn't want ordinary citizens to know. One of those things would be that there are over 250 million inhabitants on the moon. He said he can't prove anything 100%, but he has photos that supposedly show structures built at the base of the moon, as if they were homes. According to John, the moon came to be 40 million years ago, but it wasn't until 15,000 years ago that it actually started to have life, creating great civilizations with many people. He said that the people who inhabit the moon would have a humanoid appearance, but he said that the race of Greys is also among them, working in a huge laboratory under the surface of the moon. Also, according to him, Earth would only be a prison planet, where people are sent as a kind of punishment, and that in addition, there are thousands of planets just like Earth. But what about you? Do you really believe that there are inhabitants on the moon? Are Greys biomachines? Now I'm going to talk about the ex-soldier who is sure the Greys race is a biomachine used by the government. For starters, the whole story would be linked to the events of Roswell. For those who don't know what happened in Roswell, I'll give you a little summary of what happened there, okay? But to find out more, I suggest you watch a video here on the channel focused on the subject. And it's amazing, okay? But let's go. In 1947, the Roswell military base informed local newspapers that they had seen a UFO that had crashed in the region. However, after a few days, the government denied it and said that it was all a misunderstanding. However, when curiosity was even greater when in 1997, Philip J. Corso together with the writer William J. Byrnes released the book The Day After Roswell, where Philip reports everything he saw in Roswell. He said he was in charge of the department responsible for studying the UFO that had crashed at the scene. According to him, the government tried to cover up the event because it wanted to use alien technology for its own benefits. The most shocking revelation of the book is when it reports the description of the bodies of the beings found in the wreckage of the aircraft. He said that the beings were gray and looked more like robots than in fact living beings. According to him, the creatures would be biomachines specially made to travel to other worlds. Also, according to Philip, he saw the autopsy of one of them up close and could accurately say everything that happened there. He said the creatures had no digestive system and that their bodies were attached to spacecraft. Be that as it may, Philip Corso died shortly after the book's publication, which made many believe that he was in fact telling the truth. But the end of his life will always remain unknown. And of course, it's all theories. Nothing has been confirmed. But what about you? What do you believe? See you in the next video then. A hug, be well, and until next time. Thanks.